YouTube, welcome to Outdoor Conquest. My name's Nehemiah, and today we are doing a review on some shrimp molds. So if you like what you see, like and subscribe. Let's get into it.
I heard from the grapevine you like fishing. Hook sets, jig bites, drag lines peeling. Up before the sun to be first out to get 'em. Even if I don't catch one, I've been outdoors fishing. Outdoor conquest, let me put you on some really big fish. Outdoor conquest, ocean, river, pond, or creek. Fishing's where I wanna be.
Alright, so we're gonna make two types of shrimp. So we have the 3-inch and the 3.8 inch, almost 4-inch shrimp, right? So here is the first one. It is from Angling AI. It's got 4 cavities, and honestly, this is one of my favorites just because of the little appendages that come with this mold. So, almost dropped them. Second one I'm gonna show you is the the 3.8 shrimp molds. So definitely a deeper cavity, definitely a larger bait, and this is definitely what I've seen the size of the shrimp look like this time of year. So I have no complaints. I have the open pour. Here, I'll show you the open pour as well. So here's the open pour if you ever wanted to make your own. Do not put them in a dishwasher. They'll lose their shine. They still work, but they will lose their shine. So the difference between the injection and the open pour is that you will have to hand pour these, which you can really get some nice colors. Maybe a little more creative, versus the injection where I only have one right now, so I have to stick with one color, but then the flakes I can use a combination of flakes to add contrast and depth and stuff like that. So that's what I'll be showing you today. Another thing is too, price. So this is like, I don't know, 17 to 20 bucks, maybe 25 bucks for 2 cavities. And then this is, I think, around 100 bucks. But with this, you're gonna need the injector. So tack on 164 bucks. These are just ballpark numbers. I don't have the exact numbers with me. But all you need is a cup and plastic. The other one, you need an injector. I get all my measuring cups from Home Goods. So, but they make the same bait. So if you are starting out with open pour like I did, and you bought 6 of these and you make 6 at a time and you wait for them to cool and then pop them out, cool. Still the same shrimp. Once you decide, hey, this is what I'm really into and want to pursue other things with, the injection is so much faster. I could spit out like probably 100 shrimp in an hour. So that's great, because when I was open pouring these, it would take so long because I would pour them. They would take about 2 to 3 minutes to cool, and then sometimes I would have to clean up the flashing and stuff like that, where there's not really any flashing going on here, especially if you use mold release and the plastic is hot and you don't overpower the injector. So what I mean by overpowering the injector, right, is when you are injecting, you ain't squeezing that that plastic into the mold. The plastic's already hot, this mold is slick, and you got mold release, so that plastic isn't gonna have a problem getting into all those cracks and crevices, so you don't really need to force it. But when you are pushing too hard, that plastic is gonna find a way to escape, and you're gonna have flashing, and then you're gonna be in the same predicament to where you're going to be trimming off the plastic with scissors for a couple hours. So let's get into it. And you know what? I just thought about it right now. I'm going to show you both the open pour and the dual injection as well. Because why not? And then we have our 3-inch right here also. So we're gonna do all three, and then we can decide, or you can decide, if this is for you, if you like open pour, if you like injection. It's gonna be exact same colors. All right, so I have tons of remelt. Now what's remelt, right? Remelt is all the leftover plastic you have from your previous lures. So all this means is the plastic's not, it's just leftovers. It doesn't mean the plastic is less quality, it's burned or anything like that. It just means that you have an excess amount and you didn't have enough to make another batch of baits. So what I like to do from time to time is to not be wasteful, is to use some of the old plastic. And what I mean by old is just the bottom of the cup, and make some colors that one thing look natural and a little more, and maybe a little more effective, rather than something new and shiny, right? So right here I got some gray, some beige, got a little bit of white in here, and then some orange in the bottom, as you can see. So we're gonna make sure this is all mixed around, and then we're gonna throw it in the microwave for about 3 minutes first. So you don't want to cook. So if the plastic takes 5 minutes to get to a liquid state, you don't want to just put on 5 minutes and let it cook, because the plastic at the bottom is going to be cooking at a different temperature than the plastic on top, and you could potentially burn the plastic, right? So do 3 minutes, see what it is, mix it around, and then do another 5, because the plastic on top is going to be a different temperature than the plastic on the bottom. All right, this is my microwave. Ain't nothing special. Here are all my stickers of where I've gotten my tools and equipment and stuff like that. None of these are sponsors, but it's nice to have some stickers. So this is what I was talking about, how it's almost in a liquid state. The plastic is going to start meshing together, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it so that way the plastic at the bottom comes to the top, so that way we have a even heat exchange. And then go back in the microwave for 2 minutes. Right, another thing I wanted to talk about is that depending on the type of microwave and the brand of plastic, it may vary in the cook time. So if you're using Lureworks, I find Lureworks takes less time to get to a pourable viscosity, versus Dead On takes a little longer to get the job done. But so when I say 5 minutes, that's just 5 minutes for me, and that's the consistency I'm looking for. Kind of like a dirty brown. Then I'm gonna keep it there. We'll see how the first batch looks. So There's a lot of bubbles in here. Like you can't see because the color is darker. If this was clear, you'd see a bunch of bubbles. So what we're gonna do is we're going to put it in my vacuum chamber. So the vacuum chamber will get all the bubbles out, or at least most, because you can run this plastic through a couple times, and sometimes you're just gonna get bubbles, right? So all I do is make sure the top is on, make sure it's plugged in, then turn it on, and then I have to turn this knob. And this is air leaving the chamber, and once it gets to 30, between like 27 and 30, that's when I stop. But I also give it about 5 minutes. All right, so we got our 3 molds. We have the open pour, the 3.8 shrimp, and then the 3-inch shrimp. So we're gonna start with the open pour. And we're gonna do the injection pour. All right, it only takes 2 minutes for everything to cool, and then we'll be able to check them out. But there's not really a difference between these 2 molds except pour at a time and the process of how you want your colors to look. So open pour, you can do a color on the bottom, a couple color on the top, using 2 cups of plastic, or if you have a dual injector, then you can dual inject your shrimps as well. Since I have a single injector and 1 cup of plastic, that's all we're using today. So it doesn't take too long. So we'll do the open pour first. There's sometimes a pain in the butt to get out. Here's the first one. So here's the injected. So you get 4. And then I gotta clean it up, but here's the open pour. So the exact same thing, same action. And then my favorite, which has been working lately because the trout and redfish have been going more for smaller food sources. We have our 3-inch shrimp right here. So I can make 4 at a time with the injected, and then I can only make 2 at a time for the open pour. All right, so here are the 3 shrimps, and we have the injected, the open pour, and then the injected 3-inch shrimp as well. So 3 different shrimps, 2 different methods. They all produce the same quality of bait. Obviously I got to trim up some of that, but other than that, the action doesn't change, or the lure doesn't change depending if you open pour or inject. They look great. All right, I appreciate y'all watching. I'm gonna test those baits soon and have another cool fishing video for y'all. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. God is good. See y'all next time. Hope y'all catch something. Peace.